Good afternoon. It's a distinct honor to be here at the Education Command. We're at a critical inflection point in the character of war. The officers sitting in your classrooms today are the ones who will command our formations in 2030 and beyond. They will be tasked with fighting and winning in a contested, multi-domain environment against a peer adversary. Our collective mission, my job in developing and modernizing the force, and your job in educating its future commanders, is to ensure those Marines are never in a fair fight. The subject today is Marine Corps modernization. This isn't just about fielding new equipment. It's a fundamental re-examination of how we fight, how we are organized, and how we will win our nation's battles in an increasingly complex world. As General Smith recently testified, we are balancing the demands of today's crisis response with the absolute necessity of preparing for tomorrow's pacing threat. The global security environment is arguably the most volatile it's been in decades, demanding a Marine Corps that is both ready today and relevant tomorrow. To understand where we are going and how we will develop those future commanders, we must look at the blueprint driving these changes, force design. The cornerstone of our modernization is force design. Initiated by General Berger in 2019 and continued with immense urgency by General Smith, force design is our deliberate, threat-informed approach to building the Marine Corps of the future. Our pacing threat, the People's Republic of China, has developed a formidable anti-access area denial network. Force design is our answer to that challenge. It is our commitment to providing the joint force with a naval expeditionary force that can operate and persist inside the adversary's weapons engagement zone. As you can see, this has been a multi-phase journey. We began by framing the problem, designed an objective force, and have been relentlessly experimenting, learning, and adapting ever since. As the Commandant emphasized in his recent testimony, we are no longer just theorizing, we are in the active implementation and employment phase. To get here, we had to make tough choices. We divested from legacy capabilities that, while valuable in the past, do not fit the future fight. We've eliminated all of our tanks, reduced the heavy helicopter capacity, and streamlined our infantry. These divestments were not made lightly, but they were necessary to free up the resources needed for critical modernization. Those resources are now fueling investments in capabilities that make us more lethal, more mobile, more resilient. We are expanding our long-range precision fires, creating the Marine Littoral Regiment, fielding new unmanned systems, and improving our air defenses. The goal is a future force that provides stand-in capabilities, smaller, more agile units that can deter our adversaries and, if deterrence fails, can impose significant cost from the outset of conflict. This vision requires tangible, sometimes difficult shifts in our organization. Let's look at the specific structural changes making this a reality. This slide gives you a snapshot of the structural changes we have made. As you can see, the numbers tell a story of transformation. We have fewer infantry battalions, but they are more versatile and lethal. We have traded cannon artillery for batteries of a significant increase in rocket and missile systems like HIMARS and Nemesis. We are building new formations like the MLR. Two are already stood up in the Pacific. These units are our stand-in forces designed to persist in contested areas, conducting sea denial and supporting the fleet. Notice the increase in unmanned aerial vehicle squadrons and air defense battalions. This reflects the reality of the modern battlefield, where the contest for information and control of the skies is constant. The amphibious combat vehicle has replaced the AAV, bringing a step change in mobility and protection for our Marines. While we've seen a reduction in some aviation assets, we are modernizing what remains to better support naval and distributed operations. We didn't make these structural changes in a vacuum or overnight. They are the result of a rigorous, ongoing process that relies heavily on feedback from the fleet. Our modernization is not based on theory, It's driven by a continuous campaign of learning. This is a rigorous, iterative process of wargaming, experimentation, and analysis that tests our capabilities and concepts against a thinking adversary. As the slide illustrates, everything is connected. Strategic guidance from the National Defense Strategy and the Commandant's planning guidance informs our concepts. These concepts are then rigorously tested in exercises like Bala-Catan and Northern Edge, and through dozens of war games and analytical studies. The feedback from Marines in the fleet, from the Lance Corporal to General, is the most critical part of this process. It's what allows us to learn, adapt, and make well-informed decisions at speed. We have institutional humility. If an idea doesn't work, we discard it and move on. If it shows promise, we work to accelerate it. Learning is only valuable if it leads to action on the battlefield. Here's how that campaign translates to real-world adaptation. The campaign of learning has led to real adaptation. We're not waiting for the perfect solution in 2030. We are fielding capabilities now. We have fielded Nemesis, our land-based anti-ship missile system, which gives Marines a direct role in sea denial. We are investing heavily in a family of systems to counter the ubiquitous threat of unmanned aerial systems. Our infantry battalions are evolving based on years of experimentation to integrate new technologies like loitering munitions and small attack drones. We are experimenting with collaborative combat aircraft, or CCA, to team with our F-35s, extending their reach and effectiveness. We are prototyping new small boats for littoral maneuver and logistics. This is adaptation in action. We are constantly learning and iterating to ensure our Marines have what they need to win. Adaptation requires putting new, lethal tools directly into the hands of the warfighter. Let's look at the specific capabilities we are bringing online, and I want to spend a few minutes here detailing exactly what the Commandant recently presented to Congress regarding our lethality. This slide shows just a fraction of the new capabilities we are putting into the hands of our Marines. Systems that were just PowerPoint deep a few years ago are now being used in the field. General Smith made it explicitly clear in his recent testimony: the Marine Corps is delivering lethal effects today, not just in the future. Let's look at long-range sensing and strike. We're rapidly expanding our MQ-9 Reaper fleet. This isn't just about ISR, it's about providing the Joint Force with a persistent, extended range, multi-domain sensing and data relay node in the Indo-Pacific. When paired with Nemesis, we can sense the adversary at range and hold their naval vessels at risk from austere, distributed locations ashore. Regarding ground combat, the ACV is now a reality, but we aren't stopping at the personnel variant. As the Commandant testified, we're aggressively pursuing the ACV 30 millimeter cannon variant to dramatically increase the lethality of our embarked infantry, as well as command and control and recovery variants. This is a family of vehicles designed for the modern littoral fight. We must also control and defend the airspace. The proliferation of drones in the modern battlefield, as seen in Ukraine and the Red Sea, validates our heavy investment in ground-based air defense. We are actively fielding the Marine Air Defense Integrated System, MADIS, for short-range defense of our maneuver forces, and the medium-range intercept capability, MRIC, which integrates the Iron Dome interceptor with our Gator radar to protect fixed sites and semi-fixed sites from cruise missiles and larger UAS threats. Furthermore, we're equipping our infantry with organic precision fires, providing tactical commanders with loitering munitions that can strike beyond line of sight. We're also leveraging Project Dynamis, our partnership with the Navy's Project Overmatch, accelerating our ability to close kill webs using AI-powered decision aids. We are fielding expeditionary fabrication labs that allow Marines to 3D print parts in theater. The common thread across all these systems is lethality, resilience, and a distributed all-domain approach to warfare. We are equipping the Marine, not manning the equipment. And as General Smith testified, taking care of that Marine is paramount, which is why Barracks 2030 and quality of life investments are foundational to our modernization strategy. Our people are our pacing advantage. We cannot operate these advanced systems without highly trained, mature, and well-cared for Marines. While our tools, formations, and barracks evolve, our core identity and statutory mandate remain absolute. All of these changes bring us to our core value proposition, which remains unchanged. First to fight. This is who we are. To be clear, First to Fight is not just a historical tagline or a recruiting slogan. It's our capstone operating concept. Approved by the Commandant in January of this year and officially published to the fleet in April, this concept serves as our premier guide for how the Marine Corps operates as an inside force. It defines how we utilize stand-in forces, Marine littoral regiments, and low-signature, highly lethal units to persist inside an adversary's weapons engagement zone. It establishes the modern operational framework for how we integrate with the Navy to counter peer threats, ensuring we can transition seamlessly from competition to high-end conflict. Our Marine Corps is our nation's expeditionary force in readiness. We are a globally responsive, lethal, combined arms naval force that projects power from the sea to land and back to the sea. In the context of force design, this means conducting sea denial to support the fleet, seizing and holding key maritime terrain to extend the joint forces' operational reach, and closing kill webs in support of naval campaigns. This is our unique and vital contribution to the defense of our nation. Now, our capstone operating concept is not just a theoretical framework meant to sit on the shelf here at Quantico. First to Fight is actively being executed right now. Let's look at how our forward deployed forces are turning this operating concept into daily reality through global campaigning and crisis response. This mission is not something we will do in the future. We're doing it now. Today, more than a third of our operating forces are forward deployed around the globe, operating in complex, contested environments. Our Marine Expeditionary Units, the MEUs, are on patrol, providing combat-credible crisis response options. You see the 22nd MEU recently reinforced the embassy in Haiti and provided humanitarian relief. Our forces in the Pacific, like the 31st MEU and the Marine Littoral Regiments, are campaigning alongside our allies, strengthening those alliances and deterring aggression in the first island chain. This is what we do. We campaign forward, we respond to crisis, and we remain ready to fight and win. But the operational tempo is high, and the demands of combatant commanders across the globe consistently exceed our available capacity. But let's be absolutely clear. We cannot be first to fight if we cannot get to the fight. Our capstone operating concept is fundamentally a naval concept, and it lives or dies based on our integration with the United States Navy. Let's look at the critical naval partnership and our amphibious shipping requirements that underpin our ability to project power. This is an area the Commandant was exceptionally clear about on Capitol Hill. We are a naval service, and our partnership with the U.S. Navy is our center of gravity. We do not exist independently of the fleet. Rather, we are an extension of it. A top priority for both the Commandant and the Chief of Naval Operations is restoring a 3.0 MEU presence, meaning 3 amphibious ready groups with their embarked MEUs continuously deployed globally. As General Smith has forcefully testified to Congress, achieving this requires a statutory minimum of 31 amphibious warfare ships, specifically 10 LHA LHDs and 21 LPDs. This is not a request. It's the absolute baseline requirement to meet combatant commander demands and mitigate strategic risk. 31 is the floor, not the ceiling. We need to fix the ships we currently have to improve readiness, and we must consistently procure new L-class ships to maintain that baseline. However, large L-class ships alone are not enough for the future fight. To address critical intra-theater mobility gaps in the littorals, we are urgently pursuing the Medium Landing Ship, or LSM. The LSM is not a replacement for traditional amphibs. It is a vital complementary capability. General Smith testified that the LSM is the linchpin for maneuvering and sustaining our stand-in forces like the Marine Littoral Regiment inside a contested zone. The LSM is designed to be a mature, low-signature platform that can operate shore-to-shore, beaching on austere islands to move Marines, Nemesis launchers, and logistical sustainment across the archipelagos of the Indo-Pacific. Without the LSM, our ability to distribute and reposition forces dynamically is severely degraded. And finally, we continue to rely on our maritime preposition force, which improves the strategic lift and heavy sustainment needed for large-scale operations. Together, L-class ships, the LSM, and MPF form a triad of naval mobility that makes our operating concept possible. As we look ahead and wrap up today's discussion, the imperative is clear. We must continue to modernize, integrate, and prepare. In closing, the Marine Corps is driving change. We are modernizing to meet the challenges of a new era of warfare, guided by our campaign of learning and a deep commitment to naval integration. Our goal is simple: to ensure that when our nation calls, Marines will be the first to fight and will always win. The path ahead is challenging, but adaptation is in our DNA. We have done this before, we are doing it now, and we will continue to do it. The fighting spirit of the individual Marine remains our greatest advantage. I appreciate your time today, and thank you for what you do every day to prepare our future leaders. And with that, I will open the floor to any questions you may have.